Let me ask you something. Are you a maths person? Now notice how you feel before you answer. Because most adults respond to maths with emotion and not logic. And that emotion was often learned very early in your childhood. And then let's ask the question, why early math matters? In early childhood, math is not formulas. Math is patterns, shapes, counting, comparison, play, right? When children feel safe with numbers early, they build confidence for life. But here's the reality in India. By grade 3, only about 1 in 4 children can do even basic subtraction. That means math fear also starts early and stays for very long. So let's understand how math fear is created. Well, math fear usually comes from 3 things. First is a speed pressure. Second is public embarrassment. And third, through labels. Labels that we create, like she or he is not a math kid. And once that fear enters, curiosity exits. The brain shuts down, children stop trying, and math becomes a threat, not a tool. And hence we need to understand math fear and conquer it early on. Now let's understand one way of conquering math fear through a math lab. Well, if you understand, math is not meant to live only on paper. It's meant to be seen, it's meant to be touched, it's meant to be explored. In a math lab, children should see place value through blocks. They should feel fractions through circles or blocks. They should build a geometry rather than observe it only on paper. Build geometry through boards. They should walk on numbers, walk on number lines. When children visualize maths, they stop guessing. And when guessing stops, the fear disappears. Now let's understand 4 steps that you parents can take to address this. Step 1, we need to replace our thought of right or wrong with show me how. Right? You need to get your kids to show you the answer. Step 2, 5 minutes of math play daily, be it through coins, cooking, steps, shopping, something of that sort. Step 3, never say I was bad at math to anyone across. Instead, say I'm learning math again with you. Alright? Step 4, praise effort, not thinking, not speed, not answers. If your child is making an effort, the child must be praised. So here's an advice for all the maths teachers, which you must follow to help kids overcome math fears. We need to normalize mistakes. We need to make wrong answers safe. We need to start teaching with models first and symbols and paper later. We need to talk math for a few minutes every day so that discussing the subject is not fearful or loathsome for the children. You've seen this before. A child understands math at home but freezes in an exam. This happens not because they don't know, but because they are afraid. This is math fear. And fear-based learning never scales. The question is, why is this serious in India? I want to remind you that must know the numbers. By grade 8, less than half of children in India can do basic division. This means that math gaps don't close. They compound. Math fear becomes an identity. I am not good at math. And that identity later spills into science, economics, coding, and even confidence. That's the identity you build for yourself, and once that's built, that remains with you for a long period of time. So another question is, what does strong math really build? And let me tell you, strong math doesn't just build maths, it builds structured thinking, problem breakdown, it builds resilience, it builds the ability to fail at a question and come back and get the right answer. Children who persist in maths learn how to stay calm under pressure. And then that confidence translates everywhere else. So let me once again speak about how we can use Math Lab the right way. Remember, Math Lab is not just equipment, it's a mindset. Math is to be explored, not memorized. And best practice tools look like this: a weekly lab period or a station for concepts. Peer teaching, teaching one another, student to student. Using math for real life problem solving. Again, students explaining and discussing with each other in groups to solve a common problem together. That is what Math Lab is. That is the math mindset. So let's talk about a few simple steps that parents can take. Firstly, parents, at later ages. Don't rescue your child too early. Too often, when we see our kids struggling with the basic math problem, we step in to give the answer. When you realize that your child is struggling, hold back, wait, observe, pause, probably count from 1 to 20, and then jump in. Step 2, we need to make math conversational, not performative. You don't only perform math, you speak about it, you discuss it, you play math games that are verbal. Let math come from your mouth, not only from your hands and from your mind. Let it be a part of you. Step 3 is we need to introduce more games where we use our hands, dice, full body for math and make math games become math magic. And finally, we need to make our home environment math friendly. We need to create low stake decisions for kids using math, be it at cooking, be it at small exposure, be it weekend picnic, planning using math. And then math becomes part of the child and the child's mindset. And now let's talk about what teachers can do. Again, teachers, we need to start not looking at speed as a measure of intelligence. Fast is not always deep. We need to use multiple strategies and start talking math. We need to catch gaps early and we need to fix it. We need to budget time in our curriculum that allows a child. Because remember, learning math is often linear. The child develops concepts once after the other. If you have a gap, you might miss out. And which is why math concept gaps remain with kids for life. Because very often they go from period to period without finding ways to uncover or block those gaps. So we have to budget the right amount of time. We have to plan remedies in the right manner such that math gaps do not remain with kids for life. So finally, I'd like to tell everyone, math fear is not a child's problem. It's a system problem. And the solution is very, very simple. Make math safe, make math visual, make math playful, and make it meaningful. Because when children stop fearing math, they stop fearing challenges. And that is the real purpose of education, to make the children take on challenges irrespective of the outcome. To conclude our short discussion for today, I'd like to repeat, if we want children to love math, we must stop treating it like a test. We need to start treating it like a language for life. Because the goal isn't worksheets. The goal is to create problem solvers. The goal is to create thinkers. People who can use math as a tool in the way that they like, rather than be afraid of math. If you want to learn more about this, keep following Unlearn with Ambuj, and I'll keep sharing my thoughts with you.